You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Oh my God, we'll have our home again. My God, we'll have our home. By blood or sweat, we'll get there yet. By God, we'll have our home.
If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, God damn it, I'm not. All right.
JLY.
Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
No more money for you. It's lazy. You lazy. You lazy.
Hey, what's the business, people? What is the business? How y'all doing out there? We are getting going. We are firing this thing up. Welcome to the show. Pull up a chair. Hit that like button. One of you niggas need to hit it. Shout out to the FBA gang out there. I see the FBAs are gang warring in these political streets now, man. I knew it would come to this. I kind of predicted it from the beginning. Once I took notice of this, what can rightfully be called a black nationalist movement, a black American nationalist movement. I don't think the FBAs are a black separatist movement. And what I see happening with the FBA group is a lot of that vitriolic energy that you get from black politics in general is now being pulled off. It's being siphoned off to black American identity politics. And that is actually threatening to the Democrat base because the Democrats believe in a broad... The Democrats are actually pan-Africanist, if you think about it. The Democrat Party is effectively a pan-African party. And then technically, it's broader than pan-Africanism, because now once we get all the blacks together, we're going to get all the blacks to speak Spanish now. It's really even gone beyond the borders of a pan-Africanism. And so because it was easy to convince the blacks with all these other alleged black people that were all in it together, you were able to hold on to the center, right? But now that you have one, a black identity movement that is non-American, so all the immigrant groups, they wave their own flags now, they have their own agendas now. And then you have the actual non-black immigrant, the Latinos and the Indians and the various Asians who, at best, just have no care for the black cause, right? And so now you have this issue of you've invited allies that aren't proper allies. They never had it to care for what you consider allies with. They just wanted to be here. And now they're here. They have to be contended with. And what I have always put forward, and what a lot of black people are learning in real time, is that all in all, if you really had to bet on oppressive neighbors and racial ethnic conflict, you rather cast your lot with white America than the black third world that either wants your spot or doesn't really care about you at all. But either way, it's bad for you. You say my volumes aren't great. Let me do some audio tweaking here. What's going on with my volume? Am I louder now? All right, we're done with the music anyway. Am I louder now? Is that better for you guys? Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. Y'all going home and we're gonna laugh. We're gonna make songs. I might even get into rock music. You never know. I'm getting into the vibe. Before we even get deep into the heavy stuff, let's do the light stuff first, right? Because apparently the internet is upset with Nelly. The internet is feeling some type of way about Nelly right now. And we're going to let Kamala's biggest fan walk us through it. Whoa. Mic check. Let me drop that. Looks like that actually needs to be redone. Okay. Let me know if you can hear this now.
Look, I was going to leave it alone, but I changed my mind. So Nelly thinks it's cute to come for Kamala in the shade room comments, attacking this black woman unwarrantedly, coming for her children, coming for her husband, while also self-proclaiming to be a paragon for the black community because he wants to justify the fact that he performed for a white supremacist, a white nationalist, the same white nationalist that's rolling back DEI initiatives, the same white nationalist that's banning black books and erasing black history, the same white nationalist right now pushing for the Senate to pass a bill that's going to get black women and children killed. So let me profess and attest that no nothing Nelly performed for a felony that's going to kick a whole lot of black people off of their Medicaid. Somebody get this man a Band-Aid because I'm about to verbally abuse you. And I promise I'm going to stay on substance since you know so much about it. For somebody who's been arrested for simple possession, I thought you would know a little bit about reentry. You claimed that she was a prosecutor that arrested black men. Well, on the contrary, sir, she was the person who created the first in the nation reentry program to get low-level offenders like yourself out of jail. And I just find it so ignorant and interesting that you want to sit here and keep bringing up her white husband. Well, who the hell are you, pussy police? Last time your ass paid pussy police, your ass had sexual assault allegations, not once, not twice, but thrice. And because we cite our sources over here, according to the NPR, you was backstage in the UK trying to grab a lady by the pussy. No wonder you wanted to perform for Felon 47, because you know alleged sexual assaulters of a feather flock together. And I know what you're thinking. Well, he wasn't convicted. Well, this was a civil case, babes.
I know it's really weird, and it's a crazy level of magic. It's the only thing I can really like relate it to, even on a logical, objective level. Magic is the closest thing I can really compare this to. How the pro-black movement went from militant Malcolm X types to the Pan-African types to we're here, we're queer, get used to it. That has been the most powerful magic I've ever witnessed in my life. How we went from a fist in the air to fisting is okay. Bro, again, magic is the only word that can help me make sense of what happened to the black movement.
Settling out of court doesn't mean that you're innocent. And I've seen your little list of things that you've done for the black community. It's cute. But there's no comparison to what Kamala Harris has done for our community. You said you given the HBCUs. Have you given $17 billion? You ain't even worth one of them. How many black men did you get out of prison? Because I can name the ones that Kamala has. You said you paid for people's tuition. Kamala Harris canceled over $187 billion worth of student loan forgiveness under the Biden-Harris administration. Bitch, can you clear a check like that?
Let's put our differences aside for a day of charity. I'd like to see you match me. We'll write it together.
When HBCU students were being threatened with bombs, did you step in like Kamala Harris to help out? How many black children did you lift out of poverty? Because I can give you a statistic that shows that Kamala did. It ain't about who you married to, is what.
How can Kamala lift somebody out of poverty if she is she was an attorney general, and I think she was a senator. It's hard to like single-handedly take claim for lifting people out of poverty.
What you do for the community, and she's been.
Oh, and she was a vice president too. I guess you get that credit.
Tried and true to ours.
Now let's read the Nelly quote that everybody's crying about. Nelly argues that despite the black community's anger with him for performing for Trump, he and Snoop Dogg, who also performed at the inauguration, quote, do more for the community and have been doing for over 20 plus years against any of you that are just on here talking trash. He explained, from the black families that we employ to the black children that we help every day and all year through our nonprofits, whether we're sending kids to schools on scholarships to HBCUs or helping young black boys in LA Gang Central with his junior football programs, many other players have went on to go to the NFL and live their dreams. Now, I actually didn't isolate that one quote. Let me go pull that up for you guys real quick, where Nelly actually responded to Kamala Harris. Well, he commented on the racial part of it all, because there is an obvious clapback to all this that needs to be addressed. You got to lay this out openly. Because basically, Nelly is saying that I married a black woman and I have black kids. And let me just go to TMZ. He's saying I have a black woman and I have black kids, where Kamala didn't even marry black. And she's not raising black kids. And so how are you going to take his black card away from him? And that's kind of a huge issue that I don't think the Democrat Party saw it coming, because, you know, hubris and arrogance and all that. But I think it is an obvious point. It's a real obvious point that if you're going to play the race game, you can't infinitely dilute the racial quality and then expect to still hold on to the race game. And so now you have a woman who is, her blackness in and of itself is questionable. And with a character like Barack Obama, he was cognizant enough to actually wrap himself in blackness. So he had a black woman, knocked her up a couple of times, had some black kids. You know, he went to Chicago, which is Black Central. He did all the appropriate black things, right? His black card got stamped enough times that it was beyond question by the time he came up. But Kamala really, I mean, she went to an HBCU and she dated some black guys, but by the time she was on the national stage, she had a white husband and a bunch of white kids. And it's hard to wrap that around blackness, right? It really just is. And then now you have a lot of black people, a lot of black men especially, being vocal about this Black American identity. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. And especially when the Black American identity is being weaponized against black people for the sake of non-American black people, for foreigners, basically. Like, I would never put my black fist in the air for these niggas. Oh, you can't even see these niggas. My bad. Look. These niggas right here. I'm not putting my black fist in the air for you niggas. Technically, a black fist in the air isn't even a part of your culture. You already have a culture. You got the moon, the crescent moon thing, the moon and the sword or whatever. You got your own symbols. I'm not riding for you people. And I want all of you gone. I'd rather Michigan be full of white people.
Somalia Hanulato! Somalia Hanulato! Somalia Hanulato! Somalia Idea!
These new niggas don't even speak nigga. How am I supposed to roll with that? The new niggas don't even speak nigga. Bring the white people back, bro. We were cooking when Michigan was just full of white people. Remember that show with Craig T. Nelson? Coach. There was a show called Coach with Craig T. Nelson. He was a football coach, like in the Midwest, right? And they had this big, kind of dumb white guy named Dobb or something like that. Just a really good-hearted, kind, Midwestern white guy sort of guy. You remember that guy? We were cooking when we had the Midwest full of those people. This is not cooking.
Somebody gaya! Somebody gaya! Amagawa Jacob Fry Yarub.
Jacob Fry. They made he had to learn some kind of, I don't know, what is that? What are they speaking? Swahili? He had to learn African nigga. We don't speak Afro nigga over here. We speak American nigga. We speak Ebonics over here. We don't speak Afro nigga. And so, you know, my stance on immigration isn't purely just like kick all the Mexicans out. You know, it's a lot deeper than just that. We have much bigger problems, honestly, than just the taco trucks on every corner. Although it is nice to see the taco trucks abandoned. It is good to see the taco trucks are left empty now.
In 1 week, I have seen in my city, black men power washing parking lots, black men doing roofing work, black men doing lawn services around businesses in my city. Things are starting to look like the old days again. Black Man Thoughts 2.0, and I'm out. Peace. In 1 week, I have seen in my city, black men power washing parking lots, black men doing roofing work, black men doing lawn services around businesses in my city. Things are starting to look like the old days again. Black Man Thoughts 2.0, and I'm out. Peace.
So, Paterson, New Jersey is being declared the first Islamic city in America. What the fuck is going on here? I don't understand. To me personally, I'm getting tired of these fucking Arabs. I'm tired of these Latin people. I'm tired of these Africans. I'm tired of these foreigners, period. I'm just so over the foreigner. It doesn't make any sense. If y'all so dedicated to your religions and your cultures and your way of life, why don't the fuck y'all stay over there? Y'all like force feeding y'all religions, force feeding y'all customs and things down our fucking throats, man. Like the average American citizen give a damn about how you live. This is disgusting.
Ramadan Mubarak. Paterson is proud to have the largest Muslim population in the state of New Jersey. And we are a better city because Muslims call Paterson home. And as you can see here in South Paterson on Palestine Way, we are proud to light the Hilal, something that has inspired other cities. As a matter of fact, over 50 cities now in this state light the Hilal, and I'd like to think 60, I stand to be corrected, over 60 other municipalities in the state of New Jersey light a Fanus or Halal, and I'd like to think that Paterson has inspired all of these cities and towns. Yalla, Zeku, come on.
And again, I think the Democrats don't realize the grenade pen that they pulled by putting Kamala at the top. First, they made her the vice president, which she didn't really earn just by her own political gravitas. Like, you don't typically pick a nobody to be your vice president. I don't know, maybe you do, but I think generally speaking, you pick a vice president that brings their own political cachet. And Kamala Harris didn't really have her own political cachet, and especially when it comes to the black vote, they kind of really had to generate her blackness as a part of her political identity. And that was the pulling of the pin. Because what happened after that, once they put Kamala's blackness at the top of the presidential ticket, it became a point of discussion, a point of investigation. Shout out to Candace Owens. We had to get to the bottom of her blackness. And as we peeled down through the layers and we got to the bottom of her blackness, we didn't find any black people. It was just curry all the way down. And so now, in response to that, it appears as a response, but there was a parallel kind of thing growing at the same time. And now what's happened are these two issues have converged on the political scene, where political blackness is actually being challenged by a Black American identity. And the immigration issue combined with the Kamala Harris identity thing, it's forcing Black people into a corner. Downtown Los Angeles is a ghost town. I wonder if we can get some of these Black neighborhoods back. Like in 15 years, will the Black neighborhoods come back in California? Wouldn't that be dope?
There is a big difference between how Jamaicans and Americans view Blackness.
It appears to me that Jamaicans don't necessarily say I'm Black or I'm this or I'm that. They will first and foremost say I am Jamaican. Why is that? Explain that to me.
Jamaicans will readily say I am a Jamaican, but hesitate to say I am Black or identify with any of the movements globally. But that when it's time, whenever something happens that is a racial incident, the Jamaicans can identify with it, but it's not the same thing as living every day with a consciousness of Blackness.
Now, let me say two things. One, obviously, if you've been listening to me at all, you know the whole consciousness of Blackness thing, I don't really identify. I don't know what you mean by that. But on the other hand, when it comes to the racial thing and the racial grievance of it all, what that appears to be is non-American Black people can join the struggle for their own benefit and then go off and be non-American Blacks and benefit for their own community and their own group. And listen, that's fine. Everybody got to do for them, right? But that has been the blind spot of the Black American movement. Because you hate the white man so much, you really convinced yourself that everybody else loved you.
So, given all of that, and the fact that Jamaicans may not even right off the bat say, I am Black, but it's innately understood, why is it then that Jamaicans get upset when someone like Donald Trump says Kamala Harris turned Black?
At the heart of that is a certain kind of white privilege that ought to be named for what it is. I can understand.
How is it a white privilege if Kamala turned Black? I did some digging and I discovered her Black birthday just happened to be the same day that she announced her candidacy for the presidency. Like when she wanted to be president, she became Black. What a coinky dink. Before that, she was the first American Indian senator ever. That was her name, her claim to fame, right? Kamala Harris, first ever American Indian senator. But then when she wanted to be president, Indian wasn't going to do it for her, but Black, yeah. And then all of a sudden, we find out, well, she got a Black daddy from Jamaica. And then we start looking, it's like, I don't know if her daddy's all that Black. He might be like 75% Coolie. He might be mostly Indian too, for all we know.
Why it would be seen as egregious, completely problematic for someone to determine that another can't claim who they want to be or how they want to be seen in the world. And I think Jamaicans would get upset because it is out of order for anyone to determine that you can't say who you are in the world. The motto.
But you can't just claim anything. Like, I can't claim Japan. I can't claim Bulgaria. You know what I mean? I can't even claim Nigeria. And the thing is, Black Americans want to claim a Black America, while at the same time, all these other foreign groups want to claim and remake their own ethnic foreign America.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar.
I don't think anybody on a plantation was named Mondani. I don't think anybody during the civil rights movement was named Mamdani. I don't think anybody that got drafted to Vietnam was named Mamdani.
City-owned grocery stores? Now, y'all know when stuff is handled by the bureaucrats, it's one thing for them to be involved. It's one thing for them to have regulations to making sure they look out for the modern, everyday American citizen. But it's another thing entirely where you're the one running it. You're the one running it. Every city in the United States of America, at least it feels this way, is in debt.
All the cities with a bunch of Black folk are Democrat cities, and, you know, it's kind of rough.
Don't know how to handle a bank account to save their damn lives. Nationally speaking, our debt has eclipsed $37 trillion. The state of California is billions in debt. New York City ain't too damn far behind. And we're supposed to listen to you say that you're going to be in charge of grocery stores?
I wonder if Black New York is going to vote for the Black guy or the pro-trans Muslim guy. Because from what I hear, Black New Yorkers ain't really feeling this dude. And so that's interesting. It's mostly like the white liberal New Yorkers, but technically there's way more white liberal New Yorkers than there are the Black New Yorkers, and it might just go for him. Who knows, though? Who knows? But we need the Black guy to save New York, or at least stop the bleed. Mayor Adams, he ain't gonna save the city, but he'll stop the bleed at least. This dude right here, he'll open the wound all the way.
Really? Really? I mean, come on now. I'm laughing. I know my man Rashawn sitting there looking at me, probably smiling all the. I get it. I understand. But y'all know I'm telling you the truth.
Hey, Big Tom with the 5 ball, he says, does Black consciousness mean getting more tax money from white people? It's a good question.
Nigga, please. Serious.
Yeah, I think you're actually probably onto something. The Black consciousness actually does require a great amount of white tax money.
There's no fixing this. This can't be fixed. Right? This can't be fixed. You just have to escape. So that's what I did. I went to a neighborhood where, I have a very low Black population.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me be very, very clear. If the Democratic Party becomes the likes of Zoran Mamdani, who, by the way, I like. I'm not trying to throw any shade on him or anything like that, but if the Democratic Party becomes him, you have no chance. You have no chance on a national basis in terms of the presidency. In Senate seats in the House, you have no chance. You have no chance. I want to be very, very clear about that. You might have a Democratic socialist sprinkled here and there, but that ain't what America is. America's about capitalism. America's about dollars and cents.
Is it really though? You know, this is the one thing that the leftists and the anti-capitalists do kind of, they approach it, but they go in the wrong direction with it. A dollar isn't everything. Like, all right, for example, how much money would you sell one of your children for, right? Because a dollar isn't everything. And so there is a limit to the concept of just raw capitalism. And so when you say that America is about capitalism, I think we need to check that. I think you actually do have to slow your roll on that kind of thinking. America is not about capitalism. America may in fact be a capitalist nation for sure, right? But we're not, to be American as an objective quality isn't to just be a pure capital-driven individual. Like numbers on the graph go up doesn't make America. And speaking of numbers on the graph go up, shout out to Big Time with the $5 super chat. He says, of course, brown people get off a piece of wood yesterday and get to tell me everything wrong with white people. Whatever African booty scratcher. You know what's so funny? I got into a fight in high school because I called this one kid an African booty scratcher and he wanted to fight me. He should have let it go. He should have just let it go. Anyway.
America's about an economy, a flourishing economy. Okay? And you know what it's not about? Free stuff. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be very, very clear.
So Stephen A. Smith, he's not voting for Mama Donnie or whatever. But it appears that Mama Donnie got some he got a little bit of black support there. The black machine looks like they're trying to form up behind Mama Donnie here, and you know, shout out to the Angry Man. I think he created this little acronym. I guess I'm black in name only. If this is where blackness is going, I'm black in name only. I'm gonna have to be legally categorized as white or other. I just can't go along with this right here. This, nah. Then they're gonna call me a sellout. And then we got the whole black immigration thing too. The black immigration thing is it's kind of the Democrat Party is desperately trying to harness as much unified blackness around the immigration issue as they can. And the existence of something like the FBA thing, and again, Kamala Harris making the whole black identity argument kind of a national question, low-key. It's brought us to this point now where a lot of black Americans, I was on this panel, I was on this channel defending the cats and dogs of Springfield, Ohio. I don't care if the Haitians look like me. I'd rather have my cats and dogs.
Speaking about what this is going to mean for hundreds and thousands of my people.
Passionate testimony of Haitian leaders in the South Florida community echoed through the Cats restaurant and bar in North Miami Sunday evening.
I don't want just a regular town hall where everybody's venting. We need a strategy session.
The meeting discussed the Trump administration's decision to terminate temporary protective status for about 500,000 Haitians in the U.S. effective in September.
I don't know if 10 weeks is necessarily a sufficient amount of time for someone to disconnect themselves if they've been in this country 15 years.
Haitians in South Florida expressing how they felt when they heard the news.
I was in tears because I felt so betrayed that they were telling the American people that Haiti is okay when as an American citizen who is of Haitian descent, I know that it is not safe, that right now in Port-au-Prince, there are no flights. Right there, and it's been months since there have not been any flights in Port-au-Prince.
According to the United Nations Human Rights Office, about 2,700 Haitians have been murdered in Haiti within the first 6 months of this year. About 300,000 people of Haitian descent live in the Miami area.
Take your child from all the comforts of America and go back and live in Haiti with me, and where we may or may not have a place that has inside plumbing, for example.
Sunday.
There's plenty of places in America like that. I don't know if you noticed, but we got our problems here too. We can't just be inviting all the other niggas from the world over here. Down with global niggatry, bro.
Today's public meeting was to give legal advice and options to Haitians living in the Miami area. But many advocates fear those on TPS may have less time than they think.
The administration may not wait until September 2nd to start picking up people who TPS is going to expire. I know people who are already trying to make arrangements to maybe go to Canada or go somewhere else.
The Trump administration has also ended protections for immigrants from countries like Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua.
I want to introduce you guys to a new, I guess racial slur would be the appropriate term for it. It's an interesting type of twist on a phrase. We're calling the Native American people group Siberian Huskies now, because the Native Americans are technically immigrants. Now, here's the theory behind it, right? Allegedly, you know, there's a faction of pro-blackness that says black people were always in America, as if we sprouted from the Smoky Mountains or something like that. And because we were always in America, and the Native American people group kind of migrated from the Asian landmass across like the ice shelf, so they came from Russia to Alaska and then walked all the way down through like the ice corridor, as they say. They're immigrants, right? And so now, because we was here, we're calling the Native Americans Siberian Huskies now.
You know, I knew this was going to happen. You Siberian Huskies are so predictable, and your truth has been exposed, and there is nothing you can do about it. We know. We know that you hunted, you enslaved, you slaughtered, you stole, and you reclassified the lives and identities of the true Indigenous and willingly benefited off of who and what you thought was erased. And then you turn around and had a nerve to have a smile on your face and call us African American as if we weren't born here, as if our bloodline don't stretch deeper into the soil than yours ever could. You've been
now, I have no real comment on the veracity of the Indigenous blackness claim. I just think it's a new hilarious iteration. It's a new hilarious development, rather, of identity politics. Now we're telling the straight up Native Americans, this is mine. And if we're telling the Native Americans this is mine, and black folk also, you know, we help kick some of the natives out. You know, we had beef with the natives. So that means technically, even though, you know, slavery and all that, we still sided with the white folks to kick them Siberian Huskies off the land. Irony. Crazy, right?
exposed. And since said exposure, you turn around to your most predictable place, pretending this, wombo that, try and make fun of our features as if it's an insult. That's not working. Move on to the next play. Well, it wasn't all of us that had slaves. Only they had slaves. And then it turned into, well, we all had slaves. And then it turned into, well, what about our genocide? As if any of these things excuse the blood on your hands. You had centuries to acknowledge, to take accountability, and apologize and change your behavior for the choices you've made. Instead, you continuously chose the pot, chose proximity to your colonizer, and chose whiteness because you thought it would protect you. lo and behold, baby, you've been played and played bad. Joke's on you. Now you're on to the next play. It's not natives versus African Americans. It's us versus the colonizer. To this very moment, you still choose. To this very moment, you choose the tools, you choose the programs, and you choose the systems that were put in place, not only to insult us, not only to...
She got a really big forehead. Like, it just goes on forever.
rob us, but to erase us for your benefit. And then you got the nerve to turn around and ask for help. Then you got the nerve to turn around and ask for unity. You were never our friends and you were never our allies. And now we see that now by the numbers. The answer is no. But what you can do is wipe your crocodile tears and tie up your moccasins, because if you thought I touched a nerve before, get ready. Because once I get ready to talk about
FBA's got beef with everybody now. Hey, listen, man, I'm okay with that. FBA's got beef with everybody. All I'm saying is you need to have an ally with somebody, and you're already leaning in the American direction. We might as well just kick everybody else out, and it'll just be us and the white people, and then we can work out our problems then. We got to get rid of the dead weight, though. Like these niggas like this, they got to.
Toledo on a student visa and attending the University of Toledo is now facing multiple charges on claims that he scammed an elderly couple in suburban Detroit. Shelby Township police say Vedant Kumar Patel emailed the couple saying that they had bogus charges on their credit card for buying child pornography. To prevent the charges, they needed to withdraw $50,000 and place it in a box for a Treasury Department agent to pick up. Police say he drove from Toledo a few days later to get the cash. Detectives add Patel likely already shipped the money to his hometown in India. And they say he's also under federal investigation in at least 2 additional scams.
We got to get the scammers up out of here, bro. Look at this. A convicted sex offender and Kenyan national working at Education Department in Minnesota, Wilson Tindy, a Kenyan national, was convicted of assaulting a Minnesota woman in 2016. An immigration judge ordered his removal after he served his sentence, but a federal judge ordered him be released from ICE custody. Tindy now holds a director position for the Minnesota Department of Education. How is a foreign national and convicted sex offender allowed to work as a government employee in the education department? That is a good question. You know what, Bandit? I did hear about the Medicare scam. I didn't really add it to the show because I really didn't get enough details on like individuals involved. My suspicion, though, is, and it's overpopulated with foreigners. I'm willing to bet you money that there are a lot of foreign nationals running Medicaid scams.
Oh, they got different plans for us. Don't get too excited or comfortable. We're still in America, folks. What's going to happen? Tell me what's going to happen, bro. What plans do they have for us next? What do you think? I would love to know what plans are they going to do. What? Tell me. I would love to know. What's something new that they're going to do to us that we have not already experienced on this land? Please tell me. Are we going to get deported? What? They going to hang us in trees again? What? We're going to be working in the fields? What? We're going to have slaves now? We're going to be slaves again? What's going to happen? What? What, they going to take stuff from us? What? Programs going to be taken out of the community? What? More gentrification? Huh? Tell me what is they about to cuss? What are they going to do to us that we have not overcame, that we have not fought back? So what? What? So they do all this, so what? Are we going to get deported? Yes or no? We're not getting deported, sir. I can't stand brothers like this. If you want to irk me, if you want to troll me with comments like this, that scared Negro, I'm sorry, massa, please don't do this to us. We this, man, that's a negative spirit, bro. And you probably, and maybe your ancestors, maybe you're a tether, I don't know, but maybe your ancestors was one of those type of people. Yeah, maybe they was the weak ones. Yeah, because people don't understand. A lot of folks don't understand something. Even cowardness can be passed down from generation to generation. Okay? It'll probably be something about in your lineage they were trying to escape, escape the plantation. And your ancestors snitched on the person they were trying to leave. Your ancestors the reason why somebody's family member was tarred and feathered. Because you snitched. Because you was talking about, they got a different plan for us. You know what I mean? Don't get too excited if you're going to try to escape the plantation now. As soon as person tries to escape the plantation, here you go. Running to white dad and telling him, hey, Brother Bob, he left last night. And then Brother Bob got tarred and feathered because of your goddamn ancestors.
And I'll leave you with this. You can wrap up in it as a blanket, go to sleep on it, because this is the kind of truth that's going to be waiting for you in the morning when you wake up. If Black America feels so comfortable, and this is to who it applies to, it's not all of y'all, but it's a lot of y'all in my comments disrespecting foreign Blacks, and I'm going to have to bring you back to reality. If you're doing so much better than foreign Blacks and you don't want them in this country, why can't you fix the fact that you're still double-crossed in the penal system? You're double-crossed at these jobs. You commit a crime in this country as a Black person, you'll be given 3 to 5 more times the sentencing than someone who's white. So it confuses me when y'all get in my comment section speaking as if you're privileged white men, but you're facing the same hurdles of discrimination the rest of us are facing. I don't understand the crisis in this country. Look at Miami. Miami is the only place in this country where a Black woman, Black American, so this pertains to you, Black American, 35-year sentence, appealed it, got life. Miami hands out life sentences, no chance of parole to Blacks who commit certain crimes like it's candy on Halloween, among other things, among the discrimination that they face that's outside of the penal system, the job system. Y'all sit here and you holler about systemic oppression left and right every day we log in, but you want to do that to anybody who's foreign and Black? Wake up. You ain't better than us and you not above us. Because at the end of the day, it don't matter if you're this kind of Black or that kind of Black. If they could have it their way, they wouldn't have none of us here. And before I go, not to mention, back in the day, it used to be you had to work twice as hard to be seen as half as good. No, not today. If you're a Black American, you have to work 5 times as good to be seen as a quarter of decent compared to your white counterparts. So that's one piece of tea you can clock. Not to mention, Black Americans are the highest race in the country fired for stealing time and things that are looked past when there's someone white in the picture. Okay. Then you want to blame and say Haitians and Latinos, they're taking your job. Haitians are Latino, by the way, but you say Latinos are taking your job. I'm confused at the identity crisis here.
Haitians are Latino, huh? Interesting.
Something I get asked all the time living in Maryland is, oh, are you from Ethiopia? Are you from Eritrea? And I'm always like, I don't know, maybe we were stolen, as a joke, but it's really not a joke, especially now because Eritrea is on the travel ban list by that man. This is a country on the eastern side of Africa. Google what those people look like. They're Black. And yeah, I look like I could be from there, okay? And so when people are like, oh, I'm not affected because I'm not an immigrant, I want to remind you, it's not really about immigration status, right? We see them snatching up people who have valid immigration status, people who are U.S. citizens. It's about whiteness and not being white. That's what that is code for. And so 2 boys, ages 16 and 17, children, minors, were just snatched up in the Echo Park neighborhood of Los Angeles, okay? U.S. citizens. They were snatched up off the street by ICE agents in plain clothes because they were brown, because they were not white. And they were held in a basement with no notification to their families or parents or anything, given no food, no water, no way to call anybody, an attorney, nothing. They were held in a basement with a bunch of other men, and when they were finally released, when their families found them, one of the boys had a head injury, a fever. They're being treated in a hospital right now. And I think about that. I think about stories like that this is all about snatching up people who are not white. And so you're not affected until you are.
I feel like being Black in America is like a mad scene. I feel like we don't really understand the psychological voodoo that was done to us as African people in the West. So it's kind of easy to kind of forget the depths that this shit goes to. You know, in the Caribbean, and I think other African diaspora peoples, we mainly live in Black or 50-50 majority countries. Like in Trinidad, it's like 49-52 kind of, I don't know the math, but it's like a pretty even split, right? African Americans are a minority in a white majority country, and they are also the like most hated minority. And the thing is with American slavery is that a lot of those slaves didn't die like our ancestors did here in the Caribbean. So what happened was that in the Caribbean, sugar plantations were so hard, so awful, that you'd come from like where Ghana is today, and you'd probably live about 2 years before you died, and they had to get a fresh batch of slaves, right? So that meant that a lot of people coming into the Caribbean remember freedom, and they remember their culture. They remembered who they are. So you just had that constant kind of rebellion, kind of deeply African spirit being cultivated in the Caribbean by accident, because people just kept dying and you just needed new Africans. African American slavery is very different because they focus more on like cotton, indigo, that kind of thing. So the labor wasn't as intensive to the point where they'd like just collapse onto the field, but it was still very intensive labor. But what happened was that because they didn't have to get fresh shipments, a lot of people were continuously being born into slavery. And being born a slave as a human being, and like that specific kind of slavery, chattel slavery, is a psychological bind that I really don't even have the words to describe right now. So imagine for years your people have been enslaved, whipped, beaten, and then you just keep having generations grow with this slave mindset. They don't know what freedom is like. The African American experience is unique in that. And it's also unique in that they are the minority, but so much relied on their labor that they became critical for white.
You know what's crazy about this theory, though? At the heart of it is the African slave. Meaning, in order for you to be sold onto the ships going across the ocean with the white man, you had to already be a slave in Africa. And what they don't want to tell you is the deep, deep culture of African slavery, right? It's not as if African kingdoms turned to slavery to satisfy the white man's greed, right? It wasn't that. The white man discovered African slavery and was like, well, if you're just going to kill all these people anyway, if you're just going to eat them anyway, you might as well let me give you some whiskey and a couple of rifles for a couple of them. It's not like you were doing anything really useful with these niggas anyway, right? You were just going to let them die. You were going to throw half of them in the cook pot. I got this plantation down here in Grenada trying to grow this thing called sugarcane. You niggas never heard of it over here. Like, it's not like you were just a free African roaming the African coastline and then white people gathered you up. Like, you were already a slave in Africa to be shipped over here.
And they also became critical for whites in a spiritual, energetic sense. These white people, I'm telling you, psychologically fed on the subjugation of blacks. There's also a jealousy component there. Black people and their natural athleticism, their natural, they call us lazy, but we're hardworking. All of that, yes, the whites would see the evidence of that and then systemically break the black person's mindset towards themselves. No, you're not hardworking. No, you're not, you're not better than us. You're ugly.
And although she is attempting to speak in a sympathetic tone, she's attempting to be understanding. I really don't like the ultimate condescension of her position, as if we are somehow like stupefied by all the years living in America and we've forgotten our African root. No, I remember the African root. You niggas sold me. You didn't want me then. You got rid of me for a decent price and you were happy. You didn't wave goodbye as the shit went off. You walked away counting your money. Why should Black Americans feel any real affinity toward Africa when Africa is just as, if not more, complicit in the slavery that they hate white people for?
It's this cognitive dissonance that becomes embedded in the American Black-white dynamic, right? And because of that, African Americans are way more sensitive to certain things than we would be. And like I tend to get mad at them because they're like, oh, like why are these people like yelling and why are they so loud? And like they are Americans still. So there are lots of issues with them. But I do understand. Something as simple as Black History Month not being recognized by the White House this year. They gave Black History Month, like they put it in the shortest month of the year. Black history is American history. Blacks built that country and they put Black History Month, 1 month, the shortest month.
If Black people built America, why should we have allegiance to a non-American Blackness? I don't understand the dual allegiance here. Like, if we built America, we should have allegiance to the thing we built. Even if it's not perfect, even if there are parts of the house that you want to go back and fix later, it's still the house you built, no?
Of the year. That is psychological warfare.
And the idea of loving the house you built, it actually goes deep. And a big part of Black left-wing politics, it really has been attempting to get Black people to see themselves as somehow, maybe not, I mean, like mainstream Democrats aren't going to do this, but like when you get into the real deep left-wing Black social circles, like far left Black people, they really want you to believe that you are somehow an enemy of America as opposed to being a part of America. And the thing is, if you get convinced to hate the only house that you could ever really live in and be home at, then you won't be inspired. You won't be compelled to defend it. And if you won't defend it, then you will just watch it be overtaken by other people. And that's what's happening with like the immigration issue. And especially now on the political front, you're starting to see the fruit of that, where because you were so welcoming of other groups, now the politics has to shift away from Blackness. Like it literally has to.
When you think about open borders and illegal immigrants crossing the borders, ultimately you're alluding to it having a detrimental effect on the Black community. Is that your way of saying that you felt the left did that to us, that they just disregarded Black folks?
Stephen A., they've been giving us the middle finger since I can remember. All the way back from the Ku Klux Klan. They have never supported Black people whatsoever. They hoodwinked us into getting us on food stamps and getting us with government assistance, having us to abandon our own success. We had our own bus line. We had our own schools. We had all this stuff. They tricked us into believing that the white man was the cure to our own issues.
Okay.
They tricked us. And then now look at us, Stephen A. They don't have to bid for our vote. They got our vote hook, line, and sinker.
Well,
so they're never going to do nothing for us. And when you look at it, they have just secured our vote, and they don't have to do nothing for us. And this is what we've created, Stephen A. We've created an environment where we don't benefit from none of it because the Democrats don't have to work because they know they already got us. The Republicans don't need to work because they can win without us.
I've been saying that.
Well, there is one thing that Black people get from the Democrat Party. Black women get domestic freedom from the Democrats. It is the Democrat Party who are the prime defenders of feminism and the feminist agenda and all the gender rainbow stuff. And All of this is essentially anti-nuclear family culture. And Black women get to exercise their selfish independence at the largesse of the Democrat Party. That is their deal with the devil. We will support you politically as long as you provide us avenues to live independently if we choose to. And that has been a poison pill for the Black community as a whole, but that is the deal. That is the deal. The men really don't get anything. As a Black man, you don't get anything directly from overwhelming Democrat support. But Black women, they get to secure their domestic freedom. They get to order their family unit exactly how they want. The great majority of them do not have to cooperate. They don't have to make a deal. They don't have to work things out with the people that they have children with. And the fact that they don't have to make these kinds of decisions alters the kinds of decisions that they would make in regards to who they get with. So the Democrat Party has been great for Black women. I don't know about the rest of us, though. The men, the children, not so much.
Black women voted at 90-some% for Democrats. Stephen A., Donald Trump won in a landslide. You give it 2 more election cycles. Illegal aliens and Hispanics are going to be the majority minority. Therefore, Black people can vote 100% for Democrats, and they're not going to have any leverage in the political environment. And I'll tell you this, the Democrats, look at their platform. They want women to have abortions. They don't support a marriage. They don't support God and things the way the Republicans do. What does that do to the inner city Black communities or Black communities in general? We're not getting married. Baby daddy, baby mama drama out of control. We have an abortion more than anybody else. Obesity is out of control in the Black community, which is one of the biggest plagues in the Black community and the leading cause of death, which is hypertension and heart disease. What has the Democrats done about it? Nothing. The Republicans with RFK is saying we need to make sure we have better foods. We need to make sure the SNAP program aren't prioritizing soda to our young people, which a lot of Black people are on a SNAP program.
I heard they just came out with a new baby mama program in New York City, man. They just trying to give money away left and right. It's like the Democrats just exist to give money to single moms and immigrants, anything but American men, because that's who would actually keep things going the way it used to be. But if you bring in all these foreigners and you bribe the women with free stuff, it doesn't matter what the men want, because you start to handicap and hobble the men from even forming up and doing anything.
In recent years, Hispanic migrants have poured into Norwalk. In 2000, it was 15% Hispanic. Now it's 30%. From where?
De Mexico.
Dominican Republic.
Colombia. De Colombiano, Venezuela, no, not good. In Mexico, much better,
30 years ago, maybe there were 2 Mexican restaurants in Milwaukee. Now there are 40.
I have a business. My brother, he have a liquor store. My sister, she have a coffee store.
Schools and things like Little League have changed too.
For the schools, it's just under 65% Latino. Latinos are more into soccer than, let's say, baseball or lacrosse.
It wasn't clear how many of the migrants in Norwalk arrived illegally, but we do know that an estimated 150,000 of the 600,000 Hispanics living in Connecticut are illegal immigrants. In recent years, Hispanic migrants have poured into Norwalk. In 2000, it was 15% Hispanic. Now it's 30%.
If you're in an FBA or ADOS cult, you can do more with your time than having genealogical pissing contests. Y'all are right-wing Black folks who have nothing because your history is actively being stripped from you. And your identity is wrapped into who your ancestors used to be, but not who you are. What do you have? What do you own? Please point me to the nearest FBA or ADOS hospice. Please point me to the nearest ADOS or FBA chain of grocery stores. Don't have that, huh? Are you housing our folk? Do y'all have ADOS, FBA farmland, condominium, apartment complex, a tent, something? Your divisiveness is your short-sightedness, because this Black American understands that Pan-Africanism is what's going to get us liberated and free. Knowing that Malcolm X had Caribbean roots, Marcus Garvey had...
Who wants to be liberated from America, though? Like, I hate this concept of liberation. What do you want to be liberated from exactly? Like, point to the specific thing that is blocking your quote unquote freedom. Because if you're not liberated, then you're not free. So you want to be free. Free from what? I don't understand this whole we need to be free thing, because I walk around freely every day, all the time. I don't understand what they need to be liberated from.
Immigrant root. W.E.B. Du Bois was buried in Ghana. And whether from Kwame Ture to Assata Shakur, the Black radical tradition always stood behind the Black diaspora as a whole. And oh, that red and black flag that a lot of y'all like to wear in your profile, not you, because you're probably a bot. My great uncle, Robert Bobby Stewart from Elizabeth, New Jersey, made the prototype for that. Genealogy, these
Say liberate the weave.
The 14th Amendment, when Donald Trump said that, the 14th Amendment was for the babies of slaves. He did not mean that he was supporting your FBA black behind. Y'all, FBA people are the biggest coons I've ever seen in my life, and it's embarrassing. Why are you out here on the internet talking about Donald Trump said the FBA moves? I mean, that the 14th Amendment was for the babies of slaves. He said something so spiritual. He really is sticking up for us. That's the truth. Y'all keep trying to cosplay our culture. Look, African Americans, we have a culture. We have our own African American subgroup culture. We do. Anybody who tries to deny that is weird. But just because African Americans have our own culture does not mean that we don't have ties to Africa. African American culture literally originates from our ancestors who are displaced West Africans.
What are our ties to Africa, though? Other than this, genetic skin color thing, what are the African ties?
And we created a land here. We created a community here. And the more you guys try to dishonor your ancestors by coming on the internet and saying we have no ties to Africa, we've been here for 400 years, we're not African anymore, we're American, you sound slow. You don't know why you sound slow? We built this country by force.
Hey, man. Sometimes you gotta kick a nigga in the ass, bro. Have you ever had to manage a bunch of niggas? Shit. Get rough sometimes.
We were forced to build this country. We were forced to do this. We were forced to become entertainers. We were forced to do it, and we did a damn good job doing it. We did. That's why I love being African American, because we pushed through some shit. But to deny your ancestral heritage, to deny where you really come from, is so annoying to me. Being xenophobic towards all these Africans. I see y'all like, well, yeah, deport the Africans, deport them, send them away. They're xenophobic. They don't like Black Americans. A lot of Africans love Black Americans.
I don't care.
And if they could send you back,
I don't care how much they love it. I don't even believe that they love Black Americans all that much. But even if they do, I don't care. I don't love them like they love me. It's unfortunate, I know. Story of my life. You love me, I don't love you. It's tough, isn't it?
back to Africa, if they could find a way to do it, they would. Liberia, prime example. They tried before. You don't think they'll try again? Like, I just want y'all to sit on that. I just want y'all to sit on that.
Chat, help me out here. I don't claim to be a genius Negro. I don't claim to know all the things. Wasn't Liberia voluntary? Like, if the government was behind Liberia, Liberia might have been successful. You know, we'd have had American support, a little military support, you know, some economics and trade deals or whatever. It might have been successful, but I don't think the American government was behind Liberia. I think her history is a little bit fuzzy on what happened in Liberia. And listen, speaking of Liberia, we went over there trying to manage them niggas, and you know, we had to kick a few of them in the ass too. Hey man, it is what it is, bro. You got to make peace with the past. You don't have to live
I
it.
said it in the video, what's at stake is our citizenship. Now, I talked about the citizenship of women, but the citizenship of Black people is on the ballot when we are looking at what's already happening across the country when Republicans have that trifecta, like in Louisiana, where there is a bill now that's law where the police can stop you under the suspicion of you being an illegal immigrant. Now, do we want to trust MAGA cops? We're having this conversation about what policing has done to our communities with being able to parse between a Haitian or an African American. I don't trust that. And so yet we are going to be subjected in certain states to that kind of policing.
And just to be clear, we don't want our Haitian brothers and sisters subjected to that as well.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. So,
Hey, man, you better hide out. You better work on your American accent. I don't know what to tell you. I got nothing for you, bro.
I think that what we have to get away from is this xenophobic us versus them attitude within our own community and realize that the citizenship that we somewhat enjoy to a certain extent, right, is on the ballot because they're trying to take this nationally. When Donald Trump is attacking Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, he is attacking legal immigrants. He's saying he's going to revoke their citizenship. Project 2025, Donald Trump wants to revoke birthright citizenship.
Those Haitians are not citizens, though. They were never citizen. They were actually still immigrant. They were here under papers, and their papers have been revoked.
And so literally, we could be faced with having to walk around with our papers to prove that we are citizens. And that is no longer enjoying the remnants of citizenship that we have already. And so to me, it's that serious.
They really, really need Black people. And think about this, right? I don't know what word to use for this reality, but the American Democrat political party needs Black America to identify with global Blackness. Why would that benefit an American political party for their Black American voting bloc to identify with a global Blackness? How does that benefit you? Interesting place that we're in right now. Like I said, I don't know what to do with that, but it's just there.
Y'all know how like Cubans think they're exceptional? Like white people won't look at them like they look at all the other Latinos, and they think they have like this privilege that the rest of them don't have. I feel like foundational Black Americans are the Cubans of the Black community. I was reading this post about.
I can look at you and tell you're West African. That is all.
How Haitians are now being deported and how they're going to be targeted. And I'm looking at the comments and I see foundational Black Americans, people who are claiming they're foundational Black Americans, that they're good. There's nothing, they have nothing to worry about. And I just think like, you are such a dumb motherfucker because you look just like me. I'm not Haitian, by the way, but you just look like me. You look like the Haitian that's.
I'm thinking Nigeria. Have a large Nigerian. You say Congo in the bush? His face says Congo in the bush. I'm thinking Nigeria. It could be some other country we're not familiar with, but definitely Africa.
That's gonna get deported.
He a first generation though. He a first generation. His parents got the accent. He grew up here.
We look alike. You think these white people are gonna look at you and be like, oh.
Joseph says, imagine an FBA eugenics program. Yo, that's really what the FBAs are doing. The FBAs, it's like the meme from that Civil War movie where the white guy who was like, what kind of American are you? That's how the FBAs are now. They're standing there with their AR-15 over the shoulder, the red sunglasses on. Yeah, you a nigga, but what kind of nigga are you? Oh, you one of them foreign, you one of them global niggas, ain't you? You one of them over yonder niggas, huh? Yeah, we only accept one type of nigga around here. You are not the right type of nigga. The SBAs are literally on some what type of nigga are you?
He's not Haitian. He's a foundational Black American. No! They're going to see your black ass and take your ass to a prison and then deport your dumb ass.
You would love that, wouldn't you? You would love that. It's because you're a foreigner. You have that foreign hatred that you just can't get over.
So this message is not for anyone who believes the American government at present really cares which kind of Black person you are or where you're from. This message is not for anyone who is still living in the fantasy world of, but if Kamala, because we're not there. This message is also for anyone who considers ICE not their Black business. I said this before, but I'm saying it again, that the Trump administration has rescinded temporary permanent status for 500,000 Haitian immigrants. What this means is that now they are the next on the quota list for ICE. Now we know that Haiti was the first nation to gain.
You realize though, the thing about that list of Haitians, it's literally a list of Haitians. We're not going around grabbing up random niggas with ugly dreadlocks. No. We have a list. We're checking it twice, and those niggas are going home. Doesn't matter if they've been naughty or nice, right? The deportation team is coming to town. We already know who they are. You act like they're just going to roll up through the projects with a giant net.
Independence from their colonizers. But because of these colonizers, Haitians come in as many shades and colors as us Black folks do here in the United States. Thus, not that easy to tell the difference when you are trying to meet a quota. Let's play a little game. Who's Haitian? Is she Haitian? Is she Haitian? Is she Haitian? Is they Haitian? Whether you identify as FBA or Black or African American or Indigenous, that does not matter to this administration. So I think it's important to ask yourself, do you think speaking English will prevent or stop an ICE agent from collecting you and meeting his kidnapping quota of the day? If you do not, then I implore you to reach out to your community to set up a conversation around how you all are going to protect each other. I implore you to reach out to the immigrant communities that are already dealing with this and to put differences aside.
I will not. They were Haitian yesterday, they're Haitian today, and they will be Haitian tomorrow, and I have nothing to do with that business.
For the greater good of everyone, I implore you to understand that fascism has no limits. We're in it, y'all. All of us.
I wish.
Whether you like it.
I wish this was fascism. We are not even close to fascism yet. It's so far away, it's like a star twinkling off on the horizon. It's not even near you yet.
It or not. Unless you're one of them ones that'll sell out your neighbor. This message ain't for you.
Guess that message wasn't for me.
Well, they're trying to step in because I see a lot of Black people saying, well, they can't deport Black people because we here. Honey. I know you don't think they're building all of these detention centers for immigrants. I know you can't think that. See, what happens is that, let's just say worst case scenario, they change the definition of citizenship to exclude your Black ass. Now you are here illegally. And so the practice that they've been doing, running up on all these folks, they will now do to you. And they will put your ass in that jail to continue the tradition of slave labor that is already in the Constitution. They don't even have to change nothing for that. Yeah. And some people think that what I'm saying is some like real fantastical, impossible concept. It's not. The Supreme Court ruled.
Did she just tell us that we were going to go back into slavery again?
They will now do to you. And they will put your ass in that jail to continue the tradition of slave labor.
I would like to see Amanda Seals. I think it would all be worth it if Amanda Seals got caught up in an ICE raid and she had to go do like an ICE raid work detail
for that. Yeah. And
I listen, put a 1 in the chat if you would like to see Amanda Seals get put into a work program. She'd have to go into an ICE slave labor camp. Is it all worth it if Amanda Seals just accidentally gets caught up in an ICE slave labor camp? Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's worth it. I'm willing to gamble. All right? We all have some skin in the game. Any one of us can get it. But if Amanda Seals can get it, if she can wake up in an ICE detention center work detail camp where she has to make big rocks and the little rocks all day long, I think it's worth it. I'm willing to take the gamble. I'm putting everything on the line. 1,000,000 to 1. I'm putting all of us on the line so that Amber Seals can turn big rocks into little rocks. I think it's a good bet, though. I think it's a real good bet. I think we're all going to come away good because it's not like we're going to actually wind up caught up in it. But if Amanda Seals winds up caught up in it somehow, maybe she gets arrested at a protest. Anything could happen. She can get caught up at a protest and then somehow they mix up her paperwork. Anything could happen. You never know. But if this whole thing ends with Amanda Seals turning big rocks into little rocks, then I think it was money well spent.
Some people think that what I'm saying is some like real fantastical, impossible concept. It's not. The Supreme Court ruled in the Dred Scott case and basically said Black people do not have rights. We are not citizens. So if anything goes left, we don't get to fight it the way that the other folks do. If you are a free Black man and you get kidnapped and taken down south, you don't get due process. You don't get to fight it. Like, you don't get none of that. You better hope that somebody come and help you and save you, but it's not written down in the Constitution that you have rights. Even though you were a free Black man, you were still not a citizen. Because ultimately, they would define this often by your ability to vote at a certain point in time, your ability to own land at a certain point in time. So I know some people think that we've made it so.
I think that was a better system for a voting republic. I don't know that I'm totally on board with 100% universal suffrage. Like, you just come over here, you squirt a baby out, and the baby gets to make decisions about how the country works. I don't think that's a real good format for a proper republic. Like, the more I think about it, I really like the Starship Trooper element of it. Like, you gotta, citizenship requires service, right? Service leads to citizenship. You have to actually have skin in the game. And there are a lot of ways of just service. It wasn't just the military thing, right? It wasn't all conscription. But I don't know if just everybody being able to just cast a vote is a good deal. Especially if you're not born here. I might be willing to allow for, some amount of legacy. Like, if your parents are, voting. If your parents are, let's say you're born into a married family and both of your parents have established their voting credentials, then you can be legacied into that. But you have to maintain that as well in some way. But as a general rule, I don't like the idea of everybody just coming over here and then your baby gets to vote on things. Like, I don't know if that's the way to go.
Far that these things cannot be reversed. And I just don't ever believe that. The fact of the matter is the 14th Amendment was only put in that Constitution in response to the Dred Scott case and after Black people had fought in the Civil War. But you got enough Black folks now who are willing to weaponize their Blackness to go along with white supremacy that they would help them come up with a definition that included them. This is why I keep saying we are at a crucial crossroads for what Black identity is in this nation. And folks are going to be forced to choose. Am I Black or am I American? I want to step in because I see a lot of Black people saying, well, they can't deport Black people because we here.
I have to choose America over Black. I'm sorry.
Honey.
I have to. What does Black buy me in the long run? America does a lot for the world. What does Black do for me, though? I'm good just being Black in America. You know what I mean? I'm good. I'm real good. You know, they've been having like this Black political marathon on YouTube for 24 hours, longer than that now.
I mean, especially for women's health. I mean, we've seen an onslaught of the closures of labor and delivery departments across the country, which is already limiting access. And to think of that even being further devastated is just, it's just disheartening. And then I would say for healthcare professionals, thinking about, at the bigger context and thinking about reimbursement, and Medicaid already reimburses at a lower rate. And so if we think about further cuts, we're probably also thinking about further shortages and even the healthcare providers that are going to take Medicaid patients. And so it's just going to be devastating all the way around. I think the best thing we can do is what you're doing right now is letting people know. I mean, most people don't think about what they're, they have insurance or they don't, they go to the doctor. They don't differentiate it by, the type of insurance that they have the way that we do when we think about policy decisions. So I think helping people understand, what their insurance actually is, how it's paid for, and how these cuts could really impact them, on a daily basis is the best thing we can do.
Jamie, were you going to say something?
No, well, you go ahead, Angela.
I'm curious. I think that many of us, and please forgive my ignorance, I hadn't thought about the way that these bills are paid by the system. I know that there's Medicaid, there's Medicare. I'm thinking, I don't know why I didn't even process it, Jamie, as healthcare insurance until we were talking earlier about how Medicaid was expanded under the Affordable Care Act. And it's like, oh, there's still a bill. The bill still has to get paid if that service provider is no longer able to send the bill to that entity, Medicaid or Medicare, or through a private insurance company, and that funding stream is gone, then how does that service get provided? It does not. So when we
You know what I'm wondering lately? More and more, I've been asking this question out loud. What is the actual value of Black politics right now? What has the Black political body actually solved on behalf of Black people? And it's not just Black politics. All politics is kind of corrupt. But when I look at, I've been talking about this a lot lately. All of Black politics seems to be bent toward the immigration issue. And it's almost as if there is no other issue that Black politicians can be focused on. And so it's kind of just leaving a question open now. What's the point of it all, really?
talk about, this is a stream that's getting cut off, people might say, oh, well, especially folks who are not as close to some medical providers, doctors are rich, they can afford this. Can they? Because how many times can you take one for the team when you're not getting, there's no other bucket to pull from? Medicaid's been cut, Medicare's been cut, and then we know, Jamie, already, since Medicaid was expanded under the Affordable Care Act, many of the private healthcare service providers will also be cut. those premiums go up, people will opt not to stay on health insurance. So when Jamie talked earlier about the ripple effect, that's how we need to consider that. I'm a little bit sorry, y'all. I had to walk it through in that way because for me, I don't process it that way. I'm a lawyer. I'm not thinking about how doctors are getting paid. Dr. Fleming, can you tell us if that is right and if you've already seen some of that happening? Because this isn't the first round of attacks on Medicaid or on Medicare.
And I'm going to add another thing in there too. So when we think about Medicare, you know, Medicare is a funding pathway for residency training for physicians, right? And so thinking if Medicare gets cut, then that can affect residency training, which can.
You know, they're talking about Medicare right now because there's a movement in Congress to kick illegal aliens off of Medicare or Medicaid or whatever, because why are we paying for illegal alien health care? But I just found a video that we have to watch together now. Hit that like button for me, guys. We're gonna wrap this up in a minute, but I want you to see this. This is more immigrant drama.
How about we all just say fuck it and let's just pack our shit up and go back home? Sitting in the car thinking, like, why are we letting these
bullying works, guys? No matter what they tell you, bullying works. Whatever your teacher told you in elementary school, it was a lie. Bullying works, right? Just mild bullying. It actually causes a little bit of effect.
How about we all just say fuck it and let's just pack our shit up and go back home? Sitting in the car thinking, like, why are we letting these blondes disrespect our face like this? Because I don't get them blondes are disrespecting no comme Let's just pack our shit, all of us though. We all of us, chaque riche, chaque pas riche, chaque pauvre, all of us. Let's all just pack our shit and go home. Then we'll see what Trump gonna do then. He want to talk about something? Let's give him something to talk about. Let's just all go home. En aller, tout le monde, ça qui citizen, ça qui gen TPS, ça qui Biden, ça qui whatever you are, residence, en nous aller. Let's pack our shit, get our kids, and get the fuck up out of here.
You don't even speak nigga. You see what I mean? I don't know what the hell you just said. That's why you gotta go.
I don't see why not. Because what the fuck we're gonna do? We're gonna keep sitting here, keep letting this man keep fucking with us? Keep disrespecting our peoples like that? Why? Let's just all go back home. Y'all comment down below and let me know.
Andale. Was that the Haitian version of andale? That sounds like Haitian andale. You gotta get up out of here now. Bye. Anyway, listen, I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you so much for coming through. Hit the like button on your way out. Throw a dollar in the hat, some of you as you leave. And we're gonna wrap this one up. We're throwing this one in the bag. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you tomorrow.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.